Hey everybody, I'm Steve Fuller from Wackadoo Brewing, and today is our second episode of Beers with the Brewer. Today I'm with my good friend Felix. He's also a veteran and he's been doing DJing for a long time, and he's our in-house DJ here whenever we do special events. And he's also a brewer here at the brewery. So I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself. Felix?
Hey, thank you, Steve, for having me today. My name is Felix Ramirez. I'm originally from Fort Lupton, Colorado, born and raised here in Colorado. Went into the Army and did 10 years, got medically retired. And now I'm a veteran and an assistant brewer here at Wackadoo Brewing, which I love, love, love. Um, I've been DJing since I was 16 years old. I originally started on vinyls. Uh, it's a lost art now, but I still know how to do it. And I do all the music events that Wackadoo has here, which is fun because we always do either comedy night or we're just mug club member dinner. Just everyone loves to have a good music playing, so that's what I do.
All right, fantastic. All right, so we're going to go through the beers, and I let you pick the choices, and I match the beers that you've got. So whichever end you want to start at, let's talk about that first beer.
Okay. Let's go with the number 3 because that was
Number
my
three.
favorite.
All right, so black cherry sour.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, not very sour, but it's still a good sour.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you were drinking the crap out of this last time.
On Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. So this time we added a little bit of maraschino's to it. I was trying to lighten it back up a little bit, kind of give it a different flavor than just the standard black cherry we did before. And I like it. I think I'm going to go back to just the black cherry though, because the maraschino's kind of lighten up that sour. It's not quite, sour anymore.
Yeah, the little tartness is
Yeah.
what it has, is a little tartness. I remember you made this 2 years ago,
Yep.
and you had made it just a limited batch, and oh my God. I only got 2 glasses, and I'm like, I was like, no.
Yeah, so we made a little more of it this time, and I'm going to start bringing it into the rotation with our sour
Yeah.
tap. Yeah, so I think it's going to play well with the other sours that we do.
I don't know. It's just the taste of the black cherry just gives it that. I don't know. I think it's the maraschino that gives it that little sweetness to
Yeah,
the end of it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I just
That's the thing. I wasn't sure which way to go with that one, but I put them in there this time, and people seem to like it. So we might keep it that way. I might go back to the black cherry, and it's one of those I'm never quite sure where I want it to be. All right, so let's talk a little bit more like in your DJing. What got you into DJing? Why do you do it? What is it about it that draws you to it?
I actually come from a family of really famous musicians. Most of my family is in Mexico, and most of the musicians that I grew up with and actually taught me about music. Besides my dad, was my uncles and my cousins that just that tropical sound down in Mexico, in Acapulco and everything. And I have two famous two famous uncles actually that were Grammy winners and had their own albums come out. Tommy Ramirez, which is my dad's cousin, first cousin, so he's my uncle. And then you might know the most famous one, Joan Sebastian. That's my uncle. He's a famous Mexican singer, Grammy artist, but he recently passed in about 3 or 4 years ago. And he always came to my grandma's house and sang and everything else, and that's what kind of got me into it. DJing, I just love the fact that I can twist a song to from any genre. I can twist it and make it a different sound, different beat that you won't necessarily hear.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard some of your songs when you're playing them here, and it's like, wait, I know that song, but that's different.
Yeah.
I love how you can sit there and do that, and you're really, one of the things I really love is that you're good about reading the crowd, knowing what people are liking, what they're not quite into, and adjusting your music to it. So like you kind of throughout the night, the music kind of flows and changes.
Yeah, and that's one of the hardest things as a DJ is to interact with the crowd, to read the crowd. A lot of DJs don't read the crowd, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to just play this set because I like this music," and that's why you lose the crowd.
Yeah.
Me, I like coming here and I like reading the crowd. I like feeding off the crowd. That's how I've always been doing it. When I was DJing in South Korea for the troops, and at K-16 and Camp Humphreys, um, I always felt, fed off the crowd, and everyone's like, "Dude, this is awesome." My sergeant major, my colonel, everybody, they loved it, and so that's how I am. I'm a people pleaser kind of guy, kind of So I like to see people actually get up and dance, and that's what gives me instant feedback when I'm DJing, knowing, hey, I got a good groove going, and they're loving the music and everything. For instance, last Saturday we had the group right by me, and they're like, "Oh my God, these jams are bringing me back to the day," and that's what I love about music. It brings back memories. It brings back good times, bad times, but music's always part of your life.
It's one of those sensory things that triggers memories.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've gotten that plenty of times where you play an old song out of nowhere and it's like, oh damn, yeah, this brings back. And I love that. All right, so next one you got on your list.
Next one we'll go with the Sundress.
All right, Sundress Special. This is one of Sean's beers.
Yeah, one of Sean's.
I really love this. A nice, easy blonde.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and people keep asking, like, they read the description before they try it, and they're like, "Why does it say lawn mowing beer?" Like, because this is, like, it hits like that lemongrass flavor, and it just reminds you of like being out there mowing the grass. Or
this was easy. Like you can be on the lawnmower and just drinking a beer and while cutting the grass.
Absolutely, yeah, because it comes off real easy, real smooth to drink.
What's more American than that? To be mowing the grass or doing yard work and drinking a beer.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so through your music and doing events and things like that, what are you trying to get with it? Where are you trying to go with your music?
With my music, I've always strived to be the best. That was instilled in me with my Army days, is always be the best at what you do. And that's what I do is with my music, I did it for a long time before I went into the Army. It was DJing nightclubs and everything else. And I was just like, okay, got tired of that, went into the Army, and then just picked it right back up. It's kind of like my soothing thing for my PTSD and everything, because music's always soothes me, and I like to make sure people are having fun and everything. And so it's kind of like a calming thing for me. And for me, I wish that I can be a bigger person, but I do stream, and I do have people listening from Malaysia, from Trinidad, Tobago, Atlanta, California. So love seeing the fact that I'm reaching so many people at once, and they're just loving it. I do stream every Friday night, and I know you've caught my streams a couple times, and it's just fun interacting with people from around the world, and that's what I like. Is it's just a universal language.
Yeah, that's the great thing too with the internet and social media. It's got its goods and its bads, but like especially in your situation, you're reaching people literally across the world. When you're doing your sets, and it's really awesome to see so many people commenting and enjoying the music. It's not like, okay, this music's good for this place or this music's good for that. You're reaching people all across the world that are enjoying your music.
Yeah, and I always bring me being Mexican, I always bring in the Mexican music, because not a lot of people have heard Mexican music. They're used to just hearing their country's music and stuff like that. And when I start playing, they're like, "Oh, this is a new sound. This is something new," and that's what I love. I strive to be the best. My business, it is small right now, but I am trying to grow it bigger, that I can eventually pass down to my daughter, because like Saturday, she was there helping me.
No, she was there helping you. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
And that's what I do, is I incorporate my family with me when I'm DJing, because it's a family event. My wife's always with me. She helps me tear down and bring stuff in and everything. And so it's a family event kind of deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got your stickers here, we've got your cards, and people love it. Just the idea, like, wait a minute, you guys have your own in-house DJ, and we're like, yeah, and he also brews.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People look up there on the board, and I'm like, yeah, bam. I mean, number 17, number 20, these are your beers up there. We rotate your beers in and out just like all the rest, and so it's such a huge variety. Be like, oh, so you DJ, oh, you brew. Wait a minute, what? Yeah.
It goes back to the days of the Army. It's like you're always wearing different hats. Yeah, your job is this, but you're always wearing different hats on what to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
all right. So the next one, speaking of which,
yeah,
right into it. So
good segue.
Right. Hey, I got a segue in. This is your Uno Mas.
Yes,
It's the Mexican amber. It's a beautiful amber, and I really enjoy this because it's so much different than the ambers that I make. You know, having that nice corn base to it, so it's got a little bit of sweetness in there, and it's still a nice, spot-on, smooth amber. You know.
Yeah, I actually I had went to Mexico last year, and I was drinking a beer almost similar to this, and I sat there and while I was at the bar and we were on the beach, lo and behold, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I bet you I can do something better than this. And
Yeah.
that's where I came back and I told Steve, that's what I told you. I was like,
Yeah.
I got a new beer that we can try that, you know.
Yeah, and we went through the tasting and we put this together, and I mean, there was minor tweaks after the first batch, but man, this came out really good, and people have enjoyed it. It's been on there for quite a while now, because we did a big batch of it, and it's been really good.
Yeah, I kind of I'm like one of those. It's like I love drinking it, but then I kind of get tired of drinking it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you've been drinking this for quite a while. And
Yeah.
we even took a couple of kegs home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real good beer. It really is, and you won't find a beer like this anywhere else.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you won't find anybody else that can make a beer like this. And I know people are like, oh, it's like a Modelo Negra or it's something else. I'm like, no, this is totally something different. Then you taste it, and it's just like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
You know, I gave some to my uncle. He's like, you sure you didn't brew this in Mexico? I'm like, no, I brew it here. You know, I was like, I brew it here. So it was awesome.
No, that's great. And it's wonderful too to see the diversity of the crowds, you know, that come in when you're here. You know, because I mean, there isn't just one culture or one type of people. Everybody enjoys your music.
It's a great melting pot here, honestly. It is a great melting pot here at Wackadoo because we get people from all over, you know, and people that do come in here, they're so used to going to other breweries and they're like, oh, this is crap.
Yeah.
And they come here and it's just like, wow, this is fun. This is nice.
We keep things so different in here. I mean, I love telling people, you know, all the time when they come in, like, hey, go check out Storybook, go check out Bell's Brothers, go check out, you know, Trinity, go check out all these different breweries, because it's such an awesome community in here. You know, everybody's got their unique thing and what, you know, sets them apart. And I think this is one of those towns that's just like, we have 37 different breweries right now, and everybody offers something, you know.
Yeah. We always.
There's no like real cookie cutter brewery in this town, you know.
No, there isn't. And that's what I love, you know. And I'm starting to branch out with other breweries, trying to see if they need a DJ for their special events and stuff like that.
We were talking about Batch Lab.
Yeah, Batch Lab, yeah.
And they just came in again the other day. Jordan is awesome over there. I love hanging out and talking with him. And now that we've started making those reusable shopping bags, Batch Slap, Urban Animals, and Storybook are all giving us their grain bags now to add to that. So we're not just throwing them away, and we're kind of building another part of the community that way, where all these guys are just coming together to help us, so we can reuse these grain bags for something positive and productive.
Well, yeah,
especially now that 10 cents a bag.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, hey, we're turning into California. I'm sorry,
Right.
but yeah, it's awesome to see that us as a community come together and see that we're wasting these grain bags, and then someone honestly coming up and say, hey, why don't we make bags out of it?
Yeah.
You know, since we got to pay for plastic bags, why don't we just use these?
Yeah,
and I swear they look just like IKEA bags. You know?
Right, yeah, they're big, they're sturdy, because grain bags are really durable.
Yeah.
They got the lining in them in there, so they're waterproof, and they're fantastic bags. And this lady, Mindy, came in and she was like, you know, I heard what you want to do. I think I can do them. And she's made them, and she's been doing great with them. And she takes the money and actually donates it to veteran nonprofit groups every single month.
Yeah.
So she doesn't even keep the money. You know, it's going right back into the community like everything else we're trying to do, which is fantastic. And that's why, you know, we want to keep getting you out there and keep pushing this. And that's why I wanted you to come in and talk. One, because you're a brewer here, so I mean, you know the beers. And two, you know, because of your work and what you're doing, you know, it's that same kind of mantra that we have, you know, get out there in the community, help people out. And I mean, you've been offering great deals for other veterans, you know, for like their weddings and for their parties. And that's a huge thing, because I mean, most DJs out there are charging just insane amounts, and you're working with people trying to help them and still, you know, do good things.
Oh yeah, and that's what I do is, you know, with the veteran organizations, you know, you have certain DJs that want to charge them, you know, 1,000, 1,500 for their event. I'm like, why? And me being a veteran, I'm like, dude, I'll do it for you. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. You ain't gonna. You'll pay maybe not even a third of what they're charging you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I did. You know, with Disgruntled Vets, they loved it.
Yeah.
You know, they loved that when we did the no shave.
Yeah. No, that was a great event. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, so I love helping the community. There's, to me, it's not about the money. It's
Yeah.
about helping the people, and that's the way I was raised, and you know, I get pleasure from helping other people that, you know, hey, I got a wedding, but I don't have this much. Well, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, you want music? Okay. Tell me what kind of music you want. And, you know, that's the type of person I am. I'm not gonna just go and say, hey, I'm gonna charge this. There you go. No.
Yeah, exactly.
So
All right. So last one on
last
our
one.
list.
This one's a brand new one, actually. This one came out very interesting. We were messing with this one a little bit.
Yeah. So this is the Creamy Amber on Nitro. So we had just run out of our Tail Gunner, which is our coffee stout that we do on Nitro, and we needed to get something else on Nitro. And this had just finished, and we're like, you know what? It's already a creamy amber with really nice that tamarind candy. I love that because honestly, I wasn't sure how that was going to come out, and that was great. So this is another one of your beers, and we threw it on Nitro, and the Nitro into that creamy that candy flavor just really hits really well.
Still can't believe how, and it's actually settled more than from the last time I tasted it.
Yeah.
It is so good.
I was so worried about that, you know, with the heat from that candy. I mean, it's really mild, but I mean, I'm kind of sensitive. I'm a little girl when it comes to heat, but this just it's the smooth up front, nice amber, but then you get that creamy candy feeling that kind of just lingers and it stays there, and it's not hot, but you feel like a little tingle.
Yeah.
You know, it's just enough to let you know, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, and I really, really like this.
Yeah, this one was an experiment beer. This one I was like, well, I love the tamarind, you know, because I grew up eating the spicy tamarind candy, you know, the pulporindo is what they called it. And I was like, well, let's make a beer out of it. And I still, me being me, it's not all there, but we're on the right track.
Yeah, this was the first batch, and we did a small batch of it just to see where it was at, and we know what adjustments we're going to make. So the next batch is going to be even better, and that's the great thing about this, you know, being creative and coming in here and be like, let's just try this, and then building a successful beer out of it.
Yeah, and that's how I am with my DJ stuff. Is like, I will actually record sets of what I'm doing, and I will actually listen back, and I'm like, okay, where can I get better at doing this? Where can I fix where I messed up here and there and everything? And if you were here on Saturday, I did mess up once with the comedian up there, but it did work out fine because he actually rolled with it.
Yeah, he rolled with it. He made it funny.
And that was awesome, you know, and that was a mess up by me. I'll admit that one. But it was awesome. It worked perfectly fine with that. Yeah. So, but just like the being a DJ and just taking music and changing things around and hearing it in a different way than you would normally not hear it. It's not necessarily mashup. It's more, okay, let's just change the beat. Let's change the pitch. Oh, that sounds different.
Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome. You know?
I like that because it makes people pay attention.
Yes.
Because they'll just be bobbing along, but all of a sudden they're like, wait, what? It kind of catches you, you know? So, thank you very much, Felix, for coming on here and being episode 2 for us.
This has been awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, good selection, good choices of beers, because I always try to go with what my guest has in their flight, and I really enjoy every one of these.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, you're very welcome, Steve.
All right, and so we will get you caught up with Felix and all of his links and all of his ways to get in touch with him, and thank you very much for watching episode 2.